Princess Leonor and Prince Christian's $14 million royal wedding. Royal weddings are often grand, dazzling, and unforgettable, moments when history, tradition, and romance collide. Europe has witnessed countless unions of kings and queens, but none quite like this. Because today, the Spanish heir, Princess Leonor, and Denmark's Crown Prince Christian have celebrated a wedding valued at an astonishing $14 million. But here is the shock. Despite the jaw-dropping price tag, what unfolded was not merely extravagance for spectacle's sake. It was an event woven with symbolism, intimacy, and love that defied the expectations of those who thought this would be nothing more than a show of wealth. So what exactly did $14 million buy? And why are royal experts calling this wedding not just the most expensive of a generation, but the most meaningful? The answer begins with the setting. Madrid, the heart of Spain, was transformed into a stage of dreams. Streets were decorated with banners and flowers, security tighter than ever, and thousands of guests and dignitaries arrived in luxury. Yet, amidst all the grandeur, the real story was unfolding quietly between two young heirs who found each other in a world of duty and expectation. When Leonor stepped into the cathedral, she shimmered in a gown whose design was kept secret until the final moment. The embroidery was delicate, crafted by Spain's finest artisans, its details representing both her nation's history and her personal journey. At her side, carrying tradition yet breaking convention, she wore jewels passed down from generations of Spanish queens, but with a modern twist that symbolized her independence. And then there was Christian, waiting with a composure befitting a crown prince, yet his face revealed emotion. He was not just a royal groom, he was a young man in love, unafraid to let the world see his heart. As their eyes met, something shifted. Even those accustomed to royal pageantry felt the rawness of the moment. The vows exchanged were tender, private in their tone, though spoken before millions watching across the globe. $14 million may have funded the spectacle, but it could not buy what radiated from the two of them, authentic love. Still, the cost remains staggering. Lavish receptions, multiple venues, security operations spanning days, floral arrangements stretching across the city, and the orchestration of international royal guests, all contributed to the immense figure. And yet, those who were present insist it felt less like opulence and more like history unfolding. The banquet alone was a marvel. Tables filled with the finest Spanish and Danish delicacies, wines from royal cellars, and desserts crafted to represent unity between two nations. Guests described it as not only a feast for the body but for the soul. But beneath the glamour lies the real question: what does this marriage mean for the future? Spain and Denmark are now bound not only by tradition, but by a living bond between two heirs. Could this union reshape the very structure of European royalty? Will the two nations grow closer, not just ceremonially, but politically and culturally? Royal commentators are already debating. Some see this as a union of unprecedented strength, a marriage that symbolizes the future of modern monarchies embracing love and connection. Others whisper concern: two heirs marrying could complicate succession lines, responsibilities, and public expectations. Inside the royal families themselves, emotions run deep. King Felipe, usually the embodiment of restraint, was visibly overcome with pride and perhaps relief, knowing his daughter has embraced both her duty and her heart. Queen Letizia, once criticized as an outsider herself, beamed with an emotion that can only be described as maternal triumph. In Denmark, Crown Prince Frederik and Crown Princess Mary, who themselves once broke boundaries with their love story, embraced their son with unshakable support. And the people, the true heartbeat of any monarchy, were swept away. Across Spain, balconies were filled with flags, plazas with music and celebration. In Copenhagen, crowds gathered despite the distance, watching live broadcasts and cheering as though it were their own national event. On social media, the wedding trended in every corner of the globe, with the footage replayed millions of times within hours. The most shared clip. Not the lavish carriages or the million-dollar floral arch, but the moment when Christian's voice cracked during his vows, and Leonor reached for his hand in silent reassurance. That moment, unpolished and real, became the crown jewel of a $14 million celebration. Yet even as the world swoons, curiosity lingers. What comes next for the newlyweds? Will they reside in Spain, in Denmark, or divide their time between two nations? How will their roles as future monarchs shift now that their lives are bound together? And perhaps the most compelling question, can love, even love this powerful, bear the unrelenting weight of two crowns? For now, the answers remain hidden in the days to come. But one thing is certain, this wedding, valued at $14 million, has given the world more than extravagance. It has given a glimpse of monarchy redefined, not as rigid tradition, but as a story of love, sacrifice, and humanity. And so, history will remember this day not only for its staggering price tag, not only for its breathtaking scale, but for its heart. For in that cathedral, with all the eyes of the world upon them, Leonor and Christian showed us that even in the most gilded halls of royalty, love is the greatest treasure of all. Princess Leonor and Prince Christian's $14 million royal wedding is now complete. And nothing, for Spain, for Denmark, or for Europe, will ever be the same again.